Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to officially updating you on some more current latest news. More things is currently updated in the press now, and I am going to potentially discussing with you on this video. So if you do consider, put a comment, if you do consider subscribe and press that like button if you do consider. So this is basically regarding Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. Reportedly now, basically Manchester United and the board, this is regarding Jose Mourinho. Manchester United and the board are backing Jose Mourinho because Ed Woodward's come out. It's in a couple of media outlets, and Ed Woodward has confirmed that currently that he's uh, in that Ed Woodward is currently insists Jose Mourinho and the current Manchester United squad are fully united, and this is what basically Ed Woodward said. Currently, the board and the owners of Manchester United are focusing on at the moment, getting new players in the January window. Also focusing on new players in the January window. Also focusing on these new the players that are coming to the conclusion of the contracts. They're looking to secure them new deals as well. Reportedly, we could see a few players potentially leaving the January window, or next summer, as we have got a catalogue of players, that are coming to the end of the deals with Man United. Reportedly, Jose Mourinho is going to get around £100 million spending spree in January. A couple of journalists come online, stemming from the press, that reportedly saying this is not going to happen. We know potentially there has there's a lot of players that are potentially, some of the players are unsatisfied with Jose Mourinho's work ethic. They're not happy with his tactics, and he has received a lot of criticism for this, and also with his managerial style and his style of play. Some these players are not happy with Jose Mourinho. They're also annoyed with Jose Mourinho due to that with his reluctance to drop in Nemanja Matic. His team selection was run against Manchester City, and basically, Sanchez doesn't like Mourinho's managerial style. The club, he doesn't like his style of play or football. Does Mourinho? But we know Manchester United have spent £1 billion all in all the managerial eras, just over £1 billion. We've had three different. Since Fergie retired, we've had two. This is our third manager now, since Fergie's retired, and they've all had different philosophies, different styles of play. We've seen players come in, we've seen players go as well, but reportedly now the board are basically backing Jose Mourinho. Reportedly he's going to get £100 million spent in January. Jose Mourinho wants to sort the defensive issues out at the club. Mourinho's also confirmed in the press he wants to see Eric Bailly and Marcus Rojo go, reportedly. But as I said with Nemanja Matic, a lot of fans want to see him dropped because obviously Mourinho has a lot of trustworthy in him. Mourinho has a good relationship with Nemanja Matic because obviously he works with him now at United. He works with him at Chelsea as well, did Jose Mourinho. But he has got a good pedigree, he's won titles everywhere he's been as Jose Mourinho. And it just hasn't worked out for him at Manchester United. We're not in that commanding position that we should be. We're 8th in the table. We're 12 points from the top, 7 points from top 4. And he's still basically convinced we can get the top 4. He's Jose Mourinho. The board have come out and suggested that if Jose Mourinho doesn't get the top 4 this season and we don't get Champions League for next season, his current job could be currently under threat. But reportedly in the press, he has been talks about potential replacements for Mourinho. He spent just under £400 million since he's come on 11 players. Potentially, the press have basically come out and they suggested that Zidane could potentially take over. Conte could potentially take over, but reportedly, there's a few teams interested in Zidane, Man United are one of them, Munich are one of them, and Paris Saint-Germain are one of them, but potentially Bayern Munich, currently potentially the best team in Germany. Paris Saint-Germain are the best team in France. But reportedly, Bayern Munich could be emerged as the favourites now to land Zinedine Zidane, because currently he's manager now, and currently Bayern Munich are currently not satisfied with their current manager they've got. Zidane has had discussions with his current representatives about potentially coming to manage in English football and move away from Real Madrid. But he's a good manager at Real Madrid. He won honours there. He played for Real Madrid and Juventus in his senior career as well. There's also that he's never proven of playing in the Premier League. He was never proven of managing in the Premier League. But Conte, as I said, his first season with Chelsea won the Premier League and he won the FA Cup with them. It's also Juventus, managed Juventus, Atlanta, Italy. Played for Juventus in his senior career as well and won honours. So he's well proven in the Premier League. So he has got a good pedigree. In the Premier League as Conte. So there has been potential rumours about either them coming in to Manchester United to replace Mourinho. I think basically we had been in a good run of form, before the Manchester City defeat. We had been in a good run of form. We got wins together. The performances wasn't very, very good. We got a glimpse of the third days, with the comebacks, with the late goals, like we used to do under Alex Ferguson. But if you just join me, this is about now. Mourinho's getting backed by Manchester United. Reportedly, he's going to get £100 million. Ed Woodward's had a say today. He said basically that he said about Mourinho and Manchester United squad. He says they are fully united. This is what. So basically, I think the board now have a bit of trust with Irving Mourinho. As I said, if Mourinho was to go, obviously he would get a pay rise if he was to leave Manchester United and Mourinho and he was to get sacked. There has been potential rumours about it as well. Obviously, we've got, as I keep saying, obviously Alexis Sanchez as well has admitted he's not happy with Jose Mourinho's inspiration. He's not happy with his managerial style, and he's not happy with the style of football. I just don't think he has the right philosophy at Manchester United. The moment Sanchez said he was frustrated after the Manchester City defeat. I think he had disputes with some of the teammates in the dressing room as well. After the City game, he was also annoyed that obviously Jose Mourinho didn't start him in that game. But we know Sanchez has been linked with a move away to Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, potentially his agent's been discussions about him potentially making a move to Real Madrid, Alexis Sanchez. But PSG were linked to him last year. We've only had the player since January. It hasn't really made an impact, since he's come to Old Trafford. He's on $500,000 a week. It also confirmed in the press that Man United's wage bills have gone up. I think his wage bills have gone up. I think there's a 10% increase on these wage bills as well. Reportedly, it said something like that in the press. But he was good during his Arsenal days under Wenger. He was good with Barcelona, and he was good with Underneath as well. But he just really has failed to establish himself well since he's come into the United team. We've also got, but Mourinho's talked about the defensive problems. Mourinho's looking to sanction Bailey and Rojo off. Bailey we got from Villarreal in 2016. Bailey, who can't even get into the Manchester United team this season. Rojo, for me, hasn't been the same player, since the Anderlecht game. I think it was last year. So, and for me, Mourinho, I think Darmian, wants to leave the club. He's only played once this season. He played with Torino in the past. I think this is now his 4th season with Manchester United. Is Matteo Darmian. But he isn't getting. He can't even get into the starting 11 at the moment. Can Matteo Darmian at Old Trafford? Reportedly, he's linked with a move away. He's another player coming to an end of his contract. Reportedly, I think it's stemming from the press that a few Italian sides are interested in getting Matteo Darmian because potentially he is a fullback, as I said. But potentially, we know Luke Shaw's been featuring there regularly this season. He had disputes with Mourinho last season. Mourinho's had quite a few disputes, especially with the top players since he's come in, Jose Mourinho. But yeah, Luke Shaw, who didn't get a lot of game time last season, he's getting a lot more game time. He's getting a lot more game time this season, as I said. But with Darmian, yes, Jose Mourinho, I think Darmian wants to leave in January. Jose Mourinho's confirmed that he wants to keep Darmian at least until the end of this season. But potentially, yes, so Darmian could leave. Jose Mourinho basically wants to cash in on a few players, so it basically helps, to get a strong centre half in. Mourinho, and we've got Phil Jones as well. He's had injury problems since he's come to the club. I think this is I think he's been here now 7-8 years as Phil Jones. We've got him from Blackburn for £17 million. But we know we have the option to extend his contract by a further year as well. But reportedly, Jose Mourinho, this season, Jose Mourinho, as that centre-back position, has been mainly going with Victor Lindelof and Smalling. For me, Victor Lindelof has improved, to be quite fair to him. I think when he first came to United, his first season wasn't that good. But I think, to be fair to him, he got voted Swedish. He won the Swedish Player of the Year as well. And I think, to be fair, he has improved this season at that centre-back position as Lindelof. So for me, potentially Man United need a strong centre-half in. Mourinho's been linked with Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. He's been at Tottenham, I think this is his third or fourth season now. He's proven in Spain with Atletico Madrid, where he won the La Liga and got to Champions League final in his first season with Atletico Madrid. He's proven he's obviously had experience of playing in in the Dutch league as well with Ajax. Where he won 3 titles with Ajax as well. He's also been at Southampton as well. Reportedly supposed to be a very, very good defender. I think Tottenham think he's worth around between 26 million and 40 million pounds. Mourinho's also been heavily linked with Harry Maguire from Leicester. He's got a long-term deal with Leicester City. Mourinho's been linked with that Inter Milan centre-back. Mourinho's been linked with that Boateng as well. So he's got a lot of, potential targets, and he's looking to put some reinforcements into that team. And potentially, as I was discussing with you guys today, about potentially David De Gea, reportedly it came out in the press suggesting that, De Gea basically wants Manchester United to be up there competing, considering the amount of money they've spent, considering the history of his club, we had nearly 3 decades success, under Alex Ferguson, and David De Gea basically was here then. We've had the player since 2011. He is coming to the end of his deal. Manchester United have the option to extend his current contract by a further year. I think Man United are keen on actually making it a making it a longer term contract to sign. But reportedly, it says in the press, Mourinho basically said a couple of weeks ago in the press he wasn't too confident that David De Gea was going to sign this extension on his current contract. But Carly's representatives have been discussions about potentially signing David De Gea this contract extension. But David De Gea basically has seen the lack of effort from the team. He's seen the lack of effort from the team. He's seen the lack of work rate from the team. He's seen the lack of ambition from the team. And basically, he wants to basically graduate. He wants himself and Manchester United to graduate to that higher level. And basically, David De Gea could leave because maybe he wants to play for a team, that are up there competing, such as City, Chelsea, or potentially maybe go back to Spain, because that's where that's where he's from. His relatives are there, his girlfriend lives there, so potentially he could go back to Spain. Could David De Gea, the link, a lot of these players, especially the ones that are coming to end their contract, could leave because they want to be up there competing and winning silverware, and it's not happening at Manchester United. It hasn't happened, since Alex Ferguson, as we all currently know. But potentially the best goalkeeper in the world, David De Gea. Potentially we know Real Madrid had been interested in him, but obviously they got Quartararo sub their interest. It's mentioned in the press also that Juventus have been interested in De Gea as well, but we don't want to let him go on a free transfer next summer. So hopefully we either cash in for the player or we sign in this current contract extension as well. But reportedly, David De Gea has currently refused to sign this deal at this moment in time. He's probably unhappy with what's going on at the club. He's probably unhappy with with the Jose Mourinho situation, because there's a lot of problems regarding the club at the moment regarding Jose Mourinho. And you've also basically at Manchester United got Ander Herrera there. Man United are reportedly in discussions of signing him a new deal at the club. He was more of a regular under Louis van Gaal. Basically, we have still got the Louis van Gaal midfield. Man United are reportedly in talks with Herrera of signing him a new deal. He hasn't played much from the start this season, but he has established himself well, when he has been making them substitute appearances. He was woeful against Manchester City last weekend. He's had experience of being in Spain because obviously we got him from Atletico Bilbao, was it, in 2014. So this is his 5th season now with Man United. But we know that basically this team that we've got now, the amount of money that's being invested in, the fans aren't getting, basically what they want. And we expected when Mourinho coming for us to get a Premier League title on the board and challenge for the Champions League. He's only won 3 trophies since he's come to the club. But this team now we've got, we basically want it to be comparable to to what team we had under Alex Ferguson. We know Mourinho's still inheriting some of the players Van Gaal got in, some players left under Van Gaal. He's still inheriting 2 of the players Moyes got in, and there's still a couple of players here from the Fergie era, such as Ashley Young and Antonio Valencia, that are currently aging up. I think they're now 33 years old. Phil Jones as well, David De Gea, Smalling. So we have still got quite a few players here under the Fergie era. Man United are reportedly in talks of signing Ashley Young and Valencia 1-year extensions on their current contracts. Valencia's been here a decade, got him from Wigan. Ashley Young's been here about, what is it now? But is it 8 years or something like that now? Ashley Young's been in the club. Mourinho prefers to put him in that right back position. For me, Ashley Young's more of a right winger, as I said, because for England plays a right wing. During his Villa days, he played as a right winger, did Ashley Young. But potentially we know Valencia hasn't featured for a long time currently because he's been injured. Mourinho had a disappointing summer transfer window. He only got Doyle in, second choice goalkeeper league, and Fred, £50 million. And Fred, I think, needs to be chosen more often. Freddie should have played in the Manchester derby, especially obviously because Pogba was injured. Pogba would have played if he hadn't been injured, but obviously Pogba was injured. Yeah, guys, I'm back now. Yeah, so basically, I just thought. Basically, the question that they said on Sky Sports, they had a debate saying whether Jose Mourinho was getting the best out of the years. Is the players getting the best out of Mourinho? And obviously, quite a few of the players have had disputes with Mourinho. You've got Paul Pogba, who's had disputes with Jose Mourinho. Basically, with the Paul Pogba situation, basically, he left Man United in 2012 under the Fergie era due to that. He wasn't getting enough first team action in the squad. So he made 179 appearances for Juventus, won honours with Juventus, and now we paid £89 million for him. He hasn't really established himself well in the Premier League. Paul Pogba with Manchester United, reportedly according to Raiola, his and Jose Mourinho's relationship's mended now. You got also Anthony Martial, a player that's been in fantastic form this season. To be quite fair to him, he's coming to an end of his contract. His current representative being in discussion about signing a new deal. He turned down his previous contract offer, did Martial. Reportedly, this is 45 million a year, and he's going to be signing a new 5-year deal as well as Anthony Martial. Because obviously, lately, he's been playing in that centre. In that central role up front, and so too was Rashford. Sanchez did against Juventus, because obviously Lukaku wasn't in great form, and he'd also been injured. He hadn't scored in like 9 or 10 games. We know he came on in the Manchester derby, Lukaku, but everyone talks about he's a big game bottler. His first touch is woeful, is Romelu Lukaku's. But potentially, he was in great form last season. To be fair to him, Romelu Lukaku. Everton's all-time top goal scorer was 68 goals. He was good at Chelsea. But last season he was good. This season hasn't really established himself well as Romelu Lukaku, if I'm honest with you guys. So Jose Mourinho, he wants another attacker up front, to lead the lines with Romelu Lukaku. I said we could see quite a few players go, but Mourinho's philosophy, it just isn't the correct philosophy at the moment. And this is our worst start to a season, basically for absolute years. As I said, we didn't even have this bad a start to a season. We didn't even have this bad a start to a season under Moyes or Van Gaal. But yeah, who potentially we need to get a few players in the club. Ed Woodward's plans is to his current plans is to invest in the January window to get more players in. He's also the board and the owners are focusing on these players that are coming to end of the deals, securing new deals. That's what they're focusing on, and obviously they're focusing on Jose Mourinho as well. Potentially, uh, Jose Mourinho's potentially in discussions about January. He confirmed he was going to be having discussions with Ed Woodward about January, who to bring in, who to sanction off. Um, so potentially, yeah. So we have basically got a lot of players coming to end the deals. David De Gea, for me, I'm convinced he will sign this deal. I said, Joe, these players is the one, the ones especially coming to the end of the deals. Will want to be up there if they are to sign new deals. They want to be up there competing for silverware, like Manchester United have done in the past. Players like 2013, like Robin van Persie, experienced Manchester United win the league. You know, um, Jones being he's experienced Manchester United winning the league. Valencia experienced Manchester United winning the league. Smalling experienced Manchester United winning the league. And these type of players, want to be up there. They want us to elevate to that high level, and they want us to be up there competing because there's teams like City and Chelsea and Liverpool are competing this season. Um, you know, these players at United, want to basically be up there competing. So basically, the players have had disputes with Jose Mourinho's style of play, his managerial style, because Sanchez doesn't like it. He's admitted this. So potentially Sanchez could leave in January or next summer as well. But potentially for me, we haven't got a lot of hard fixtures coming up to Christmas. To be quite fair, we haven't got a lot of our games coming up to Christmas. To be quite fair, I haven't seen them all. I know Arsenal. I know Arsenal Liverpool's coming up soon. So Mourinho basically has to get it right. Um, he can't play defensively because he has done in the big games. Since he's come to United, he can't play defensively and part the bus. So for me, we need to get wins behind us now if we have any chance of getting that top four. Um, so we'll just have to see what happens as well. But basically, this is the worst. This is the worst ever time of me being a United fan for a long, long time. One of the worst times. It was It was bad under David Moyes. It was bad under Van Gaal. Even we got some positive results, under Van Gaal as well. But it was bad under Van Gaal because he didn't have the right philosophy. My best time as a United fan was under the Alex Ferguson era with the fantastic players he had, the success we had. 1999, the treble was potentially, that was absolutely phenomenal. The treble year, Sheringham and Solskjaer, that was absolutely amazing that year. I loved it when we had Ronaldo and Tevez and Rooney, who we had 13 good years out of at the club. 253 goals, in all competitions, 208 in the Premier League, just behind Alan Shearer, all the top time record Premier League goal scorers. He won 16 trophies at the club. Wayne Rooney, I think England's all-time goal scorer as well is Wayne Rooney. Come out in the press yesterday. He wished he'd have ended his career at Manchester United. He risen up the ranks for Everton fantastically well. I loved players when we had Ryan Giggs. What a fantastic legend he was. I loved it when we had when we had a fantastic centre back partnership with like Vidic and Rio Ferdinand. When we had defenders like Evra, when we had goalkeepers like Edwin van der Sar. That's when I that was my best time. As a Manchester United fan. I'll always be a Manchester United fan. Always will be. But yeah, just basically, I think we'll just basically have to see, what happens in January as well. But potentially, Manchester United have got the squad. I just, to basically at least finish in the top four. But I just basically think that Jose Mourinho potentially, at this moment in time, doesn't potentially know his best starting 11. So Jose Mourinho needs to address this problem. He's being criticised for his tactics and his team selection, which has been currently wrong. In the Champions League, we are one game away, I think, from the knockout stage in February. I presume we will be young boys. So we are basically one game away from that qualification in the knockout stages. Crystal Palace after the international break, so you know, we will be prepared for that game as well. As goal difference very, very bad this season, 21 goals conceded. You know, we've only won 3 on the road all season. We've only kept 1 clean sheet this season. You know, totally comparison to last season. As I said, so defensively we need to improve. We need to score more goals, and the performances need to step up from these Manchester United players, and that's without a shadow of a doubt. So the board are basically backing Jose Mourinho. We've had Woodward's comments. He's come out where he said Mourinho and the United squad are fully united. So basically, that's just telling you, you know, Mourinho's going to be given the opportunity to get backed and see, you know, who can what reinforcements he can bring in the January transfer window as well. Um, so yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, and I'll be back, I think tomorrow with some more live videos when more things do update in the press. So anyway, that's everything to do today. Drop a like. If you do subscribe and take care, God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very soon. Peace.